Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Privately Outspoken. I am going to do a new series and give you some analytics and give you the ins and outs on what I'm doing and what progress I'm making to grow my channel and grow my podcast audience. I am Sheryl Drinkall, if you're new. I started this channel because I also started a podcast. I have my podcast, Privately Outspoken, and that's the same name as this channel. That's where my passion is, and it's about helping people, inspiring, and there's lots of humor, and there's all sorts of super cool things coming up, and it's going to grow like everything else. It's got domestic humor. It's got so much inspiration. It's a passion of mine to give to the community in a way that makes me feel good and fulfills me inside. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the analytics and what the stats are of my channel. And I think that'll be really cool to look over and then see the pattern of how that changes over time. I think it's very fascinating, and I think that's how we learn. We learn from others. So I've watched lots of different videos, and that's how I've learned. So I think it's really cool to share that. So I'll share my journey and give you some stats, and you can keep track. This is beautiful Alberta. It's where I live. This is the first time, first of all, that I'm recording by myself on a path. That's not intimidating. That's okay. We all have to start somewhere and learn. I love this path. I do a lot of my thinking. I do a lot of my overanalyzing. I do a lot of my decision making. I'm doing another episode of the podcast about that too, so I'm going to save that. I'm by the Bow River. Amazing. If you've never been to Canada, this is Cochrane, Alberta, Canada. It's absolutely stunning. We're right by the Rocky Mountains. And okay, I'm going to try to figure this tripod thing out. I'm going to label this one number 1. So far, I just started the channel, a little bit over a month ago. I opened it up, and then I wasn't active on it at first because I'm recording my podcast and I'm doing all those things. It all comes together, and it's a lot of work, and I love it all. So it's a learning curve. I'm learning to manage things, and I'm learning all the different things, all different times of the day. So anyways, to the stats. So since I've opened it, which is about, let's say 28 days ago, I've had 7.4 thousand views. Amazing. 34.3 watch time hours. So that would be any of my videos, any of my shorts, and then listening to my podcast, which is obviously on here. 4 of those hours are monetizable. So in order to monetize, I need 1,000 subscribers and I need 4,000 watch time hours. So of course, that's going to be my goal. My goal is to inspire people and to share and to teach my kids some things while I'm doing this, while they watch me. But I 100% do want to monetize it. I want to be able to have income coming in and support my family. I have 6 children, and I am doing this, and I'm doing my podcast, and I'm coaching, and I'm all about people and feelings and emotional intelligence and all those things. But I'm also, oh my gosh, there's so many parts of me. You're going to see it. I have 26 subscribers as of this morning. So not a whole lot, but thank you. 26. That's great. I hope to build that every single day. I have goals, of course, and I want to see that building, and I want to encourage other people to subscribe and enjoy the content. My podcasts come out every Tuesday. They're enlightening and they're inspiring. The next one I'm really happy about. When it comes to the stats of the YouTube channel, the highest watch time was on my very first short, and that was behind the scenes of a photo shoot I was doing. My daughter was taking the photos, and she was being mentored. It turned out so cool, so beautiful. It has 2,333 views so far, and it did well. I hope that grows and grows as well, but that was really cool to see. That was the first one I posted. I love it. I'm going to do a video series on all the photo shoots too, I think, or at least a couple of them, and just explains what they're for, where they are, all sorts of cool things, because it's actually really fascinating and interesting, to be honest. I have my first long video, which I just posted the other day, and that is behind the scenes of me recording my podcast. It's just a couple minutes long, nothing crazy, and that's had 157 views. And then I posted one the other day, and that is about monetizing, and it's a different thing than this, so go check that out. It's worth your couple minutes to watch that, very much. And that I have 20 views on, and I just posted that yesterday, so that'll grow hopefully, and I hope people really enjoy that, and yeah, I hope they really enjoy that. That was fun to make. So we got some work to do, but we're gonna get there. So if you're watching this, thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me, and I love it. Every time I get a new subscriber, my kids are like, oh, yay, Mom, and they're so proud of me. And it is amazing, right? I'm very blessed, and I'm very grateful for that. I have posted, I think, 40 videos. So some are shorts, some are my podcast. I have 12 or 13 podcast episodes on there. Those have been watched 170 views. Okay, so that's cool. And I have, of course, more views and more interactions on the other platforms, but on YouTube alone, it's that. And I just started it. I want to talk about the locations. When you're looking on YouTube, and I have the podcast on these other areas, and what's super, super fascinating is the analytics, and that's something you have to learn. You have to learn to read them. You have to learn to utilize them. That's something that I'm learning. But so far, you just keep an eye, and it's fascinating. So on YouTube, I am so amazed at how many different places that I've reached, where the views are coming from. So I want to name a few, because that in itself is so cool. Ooh, some kids riding bikes. I'm on the Bow River, and I'm literally sitting here along the path. First video I've ever done, just in public. So I'm going to name the countries and the places where I've had the views on this channel so far, because this would be interesting to see grow and change, and something that you should look at when you're doing your channel. Edmonton, Ireland, Australia, Toronto, Calgary, London, Ontario, Montreal, Canada, of course, US. I say Canada, of course, because that's where I'm from. That's where I am. Brazil, the Philippines, United Kingdom, Spain, and Pakistan. That's just in 30 days. How cool is that? That is a cool analytic to have. I just think the analytical part of it is interesting. There's some parts I don't even understand yet, so I'm going to learn that. Another thing I want to talk about is YouTube is a learning curve, right? For the regular person. I'm just a regular person. I'm not just a regular person, but for this purpose, I am just a regular person. So far, I've literally just learned. For video editing, I've edited a couple videos. They're not perfect. They're not going to be. But you can only get better. You're only going to learn. And every video, as long as you change one thing and you learn one thing, they're going to progress, right? I'm going to collaborate in the future as well. And I'm going to take that person's experience and that person's strengths and that person's mistakes, and we're going to combine them, and I'm not going to make those mistakes, and that person's not going to make my mistakes. So stay tuned for that, because they're just going to get cooler and better and more information and more valuable, right? So I've learned editing. I've learned to tap into the creativeness. There's lots of things going on in my head, so it just takes the time to do it, right? I'm also doing my podcast, and that's super, super important to me. It's where I inspire women. It's where I do coaching. It's where I fuel myself, and it's part of my self-care. That's what my podcast is a lot about. So please go check that out. Again, privately outspoken. So I'm learning balance, right? I'm learning balance. I'm managing my family with 6 kids, 6 children. It's a lot. It's nonstop. I'm on all these social media platforms, and I'm going to do it. I'm changing, and I'm learning, and they're learning from me, seeing me do this. They're even learning in my struggle. They're learning in my struggle. That's important, because newsflash, I'm not perfect. I know we're perfect in our kids' eyes, or we're not, but we're not. And it's important for them to see that. It's important for them to see us have a problem and solve it, and want to give up, but don't give up, because that's what they're going to have in their life. Yeah, and then the other thing I just jotted down for the purpose of this video, because this is the first one, is the analytics. So I'm going to learn that, and I'm going to keep going. And I hope that you enjoy the channel and all the things that come. While you're waiting for the videos, check out the podcast. There's another one coming out really, really quick. By the time I post this, I think it'll be up, but it's the one, Getting Out of a Funk. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, and I think it's very helpful. So please go check that out. Things that I'm going to learn this week. I'm going to learn maybe some lighting. Today, it's hard sometimes. You want to look your best and you want to have all these professional videos. But honestly, if I wait to have all these professional videos, I'm not going to have any videos. Like, I do have a life, and I do have things that I want to stay confident about. So you need to just find the balance and learn and grow. So you just practice, right? I'm just sitting by the river today. I'm using natural light, and I don't know how this is going to look, but that's okay. I'm learning camera stuff. I'm learning about thumbnails and how important those are and how to make them YouTube style. That's totally different than the other things I'm doing. I have such a variety, and I'm bonding with my kids over that too. They're helping me. I'm like doing things, and then I'm showing them, because I'm like the kid. I'm like, oh, look what I made. And they like smirk, and then I'm like, are you laughing at me? And they're like, no, Mom, we're so proud. And I'm like, oh, yes. So everything's a learning curve. Don't be afraid of that. I'm learning voiceovers. That last video, I did a voiceover. That was so cool. I don't know. I just did it, right? So cool. And I am learning to get more comfortable on camera. With the podcast, I'm really good speaking in person, and I'm a cheerleader for people. I'm a cheerleader for women. I'm a cheerleader for everyone in general about living your best life. And you'll hear that through the podcast without a doubt. And I'm learning through the podcast, just recording, of all the little quirks I do, right? If I say this, or if I like pause too long and I'm like, it's okay. And you learn these things about yourself, and you learn to just sink into your natural voice. You know how you pick up the phone when you get a call, a professional call, and there's these jokes about when moms get phone calls, and you're like, hello, and you're all professional. In the podcast and in this, something that's really important to me is just using my regular voice and just talking like I normally talk. I think if there was a tip, it's just getting comfortable being yourself, because you should be yourself always. And then, unless you're doing a skit or you're doing whatever, right? You're going to gauge that. But in general, you're going to be the most genuine, and you're going to connect with people when you're being your most authentic self, because that's what people gravitate to. That's what people should gravitate to. I feel like someone's behind me. No. So that's today's video. I'm in this for the long haul. Like I said, I do want to monetize this. So if you can subscribe, that would be so fantastic. And tell me what you think. If you just started your channel, or you're thinking about starting one, tell me in the comments of what you're struggling with, and maybe I can help you, right? I love to just sort of communicate and collaborate. So I can tell you what's helped me, and hey, maybe you're going to school me, but we can work together, and that's what life is about, to be honest. But yeah, I'm in it for the long haul. I love the community. I love the community of YouTube. I love the community of being our best selves, just coming together, because even something as little as watching a YouTube video, learning something, and you're letting your brain be filled with something you didn't know, or merely entertained, it's still self-care. It's self-care, and we need a lot of that. We live these really busy lives, and I'm a pusher for that. I am very, very much all for that. All it does is help us take care of the things that we're responsible for later. So it's all this balance, and it all matters. This has been crazy, just filming this. I had some notes, because I am not going to remember some stats, because I'll get camera shy. Yeah, so don't be afraid to have some notes. I think it's fine, especially at the beginning when you're just learning. That's what I like about the podcast too. I can have some notes if I want, or bullets, or whatever works, right? And a lot of the time I'm just talking. I'm going to end this video with a little bit more of the scenery, because this is such a beautiful place. I love living here in Cochrane, Alberta. I'm right by the Rocky Mountains. It's so beautiful. If you ever get a chance to come here, please come here. It's beautiful. The sunsets are amazing. The rivers are amazing. The mountains are amazing. People are pretty good too. Okay, I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to show you where I was just sitting. I was just sitting there, just sitting by the rock, by the river. How cool is that? Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I'm happy you're here. I look forward to this series and all the other videos that I'm going to post and I can be helpful with along the way. I'm also a YouTube watcher, so I'm in support of your YouTube channels. So if you have one and you're watching this right now, let me know in the comments, right? Let me know, and then I can follow you because I think it's amazing. It's a community and we can all support each other and learn from each other and help each other. I can't wait to see some interaction and yeah, and just continue. So pretty. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Soon this is going to be all luscious and green. Oh my gosh, finally spring turning into summer. I can hear the birds. There's so much wildlife that hangs out here too. I like to bring my kids right there to throw rocks, skip rocks, throw rocks, skip rocks. Oh, you see that hill right there? Oh. So every time I'm walking with my best friend, I make sure she's talking while we're walking up it because otherwise I'll get out of breath. She knows. I joke about it all the time.